What is up, folks? This is Addy Ads. This is the first episode of the Cop Hawk podcast, and it's going to be reporting on crimes by police in the United States in particular, which is something I have reported on in the past, enjoy reporting on, and think there is a huge lack of reportage on that subject. So, consequently, I will be covering it now, along with my Julian Assange podcast, Epstein Files podcast, and more general public intelligence interviews. This is from the Free Thought Project, Matt Agrist, in San Bernardino, California. A 91-year-old blind and deaf woman called 911 to report an intruder. Cops then showed up, shot her 9 times, and killed her. According to her family, Betty Francois was legally blind and deaf, but managed to live by herself. She was self-sufficient and apparently well-armed. When Francois suspected people were breaking into her home, she grabbed her shotgun and called 911. According to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, when deputies arrived on the scene, they encountered Francois, who was armed with a shotgun. Police claimed in a statement when they told Francois to drop the gun, she didn't listen, so they had no choice but to shoot her. On Saturday, January 9th, 2021, at 9:34 a.m., deputies responded to a 911 call reporting unknown subjects attempting to break into the Sunburst Road residence. Deputies arrived, and a woman later identified as Betty Francois came out the front door of the home armed with a shotgun. Deputies gave her commands to drop the gun. Then she pointed the gun at the deputies, and a deputy-involved shooting occurred. After she was shot, Francois was airlifted to a nearby hospital, but would unfortunately not make it. Police in San Bernardino have refused to name the deputies involved, refused to say how many deputies showed up, and have refused to say how many rounds they fired. However, a neighbor's security camera captured audio of the shooting. According to the Daily Press, the neighbor, identified only as Stephen, said he had no idea a shooting occurred until he read a news article and saw police cars blocking the road. When he reviewed his security footage, he said it captured gunfire around 9:52 a.m. on Saturday morning. In the video, which shows the man's driveway and does not show the incident, a single gunshot can be heard. That shot is then followed by at least 8 to 9 additional shots, some sounding as though they occurred simultaneously. San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department spokesperson Jody Miller declined to say whether or not police used de-escalation techniques, saying only that the use of less lethal weapons, which are equipped in every sheriff's vehicle, would be approved as a tactical option when it would be unsafe to approach a person who appears to be otherwise suicidal, mentally unbalanced, or otherwise potentially combative, and the person does not present an imminent threat to an officer or to the public, according to the Daily Press. She then went on to say that cops don't have to use de-escalation or less lethal tactics if they feel an imminent threat. Alternatives to force are not required by a member when the member reasonably believes that immediate action must be taken to prevent injury to themselves, another member, or the public. Susan Delemis, a relative of Francois and member of the New Hampshire House of Representatives, described Francois as a precious and petite little lady. She was born in 1929, and the police felt so threatened by her that they had to shoot her, Delemis said. We've all been strong, faithful, and trying to make the best of a bad situation. The entire family is upset and concerned. Every one of us is very upset by the entire situation. Given the fact that Francois was legally blind and deaf, she likely could have confused police for the intruders. Had they simply backed off and waited, perhaps Francois could have lived to see her 92nd birthday. Her family agrees. Couldn't they have backed off? Have someone go behind her or call the house and wait? Considering this was a tiny lady who may have been confused and thinking that there were actually intruders outside their home. Apparently, however, they could not. Once again, that's from Matt Agrist of the Free Thought Project, who have actually interviewed in my, and he's featured in my book, Public Intelligence. Next up, second story of the day, which again, this is highly underreported. This topic on, I would say, both the left and the right, pretty much all sides of the media. I think underreports crimes by police, unless it's particular crimes that are salacious and are somehow beneficial to furthering the mainstream media's narrative, their agenda, whatever that may be. And if it doesn't meet that criteria, then often it doesn't get covered. So that is why I am trying to cover it in a more balanced way, in a way that you won't get anywhere else, as far as I know. Not too many people covering this in audio form, least of all, but in general. It's just not a whole lot of coverage on crimes by police, no matter how you break it down. So that being said, let us continue here with our next story. This is about a school cop busted by fellow officers in a child sex sting, whereby he was attempting to lure an underage girl for sex. This is a police officer here, folks, that we're talking about. This is a podcast that focuses on crimes by police. And that being said, I just lost the article. It is timing out. I have no idea what's going on. But stand by, folks. This is Addy Ads. This is the Cop Hawk podcast. I'm the Cop Hawk. Alcone in Spanish, Falcone in Italian. One who watches, who has eyes on. In this context, eyes on crimes by police and law enforcement, generally speaking. So that being said, do this at least on a weekly basis, I would say, if not daily. Daily is a bit much. Certainly taking a couple days off, but I would say definitely on a weekly basis, just shorter pieces. Maybe not a full hour podcast, but just want to cover these because there's so many of them. So many stories written. Really, the Free Thought Project, I think, leads the media in this, covering crimes by police. Very interesting, folks. My internet is completely crapping out. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm allowed to stream, even though I can't. Looks like I can't really access any other websites. Well, it looks like I can access Twitter, but not anything else. So this is going to be a shortened podcast here, folks. Unfortunately, I don't know. Maybe Free Thought Project is getting attacked or something. But stay frosty. Subscribe to this. This should be available. I'm getting it up and running today on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere else podcasts can be found. Ciao, and we'll see everybody next time.